I'm Joey, and my choice book was How Dare the Sun Rise by Sandra Urinjing-Manya. It is a memoir about her life, and it starts when she's 10 years old, living with her family in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And then an awful massacre happens called the Gatumba Massacre, and it causes her and her family to have to leave their home and move to the United States. And a lot of the book just talks about her struggles with trying to fit in and trying to deal with what happened at the massacre. The author is really good at making the reader feel like they are part of the story, and just like you totally get her perspective, and she's really open about everything and everything that's happening. She uses sentence and text structure where she goes from short sentences to long sentences and kind of makes you bounce back and forth, and it kind of shows how she feels and like makes the reader feel how she felt at the time, where it's like kind of rocky and she's just unsure of things. She's also really good at using imagery. One of the big pieces of imagery that she uses was on page 81, and it's right after the massacre, and it says, "It must have been around 5 o'clock in the morning when we found Heritage. His arms were practically falling off his body from gunshot wounds." And that just like really gives you a good image in your mind, and kind of displays like how awful the massacre was. So she's really good at imagery and sentence structure and text structure. My favorite passage from the book is found on page 207. It says, "I could also see that American kids had a hard time understanding that I was American. Kids at school would ask, 'What are you?' 'What am I?' 'I'm an American,' I would say. They would look at me skeptically. 'Come on, what are you?' When you hear questions like that, it makes you feel like you don't belong, like you have no right to claim American citizenship. I think it's why refugee kids often develop low expectations for their lives. Even as citizens, they feel like outsiders. 'Are you asking where I was born?' I would say. 'If so, I was born in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, but now I am an American.' What I often wanted to say was, 'I'm a human being. What are you?'" I think this passage is a really good passage because it represents really what she was feeling throughout most of the book, and how she just really felt like she didn't fit in because of the way other people treated her. And overall, I would give this book a 4 out of 5 stars just because it was a really good book, and I recommend that you read it, but it wasn't like my new favorite book. But there was nothing really that stuck out to me that was bad about it, besides the fact that it was kind of slow at times, or that I didn't always like the way she told her perspective, but it's her story to tell. So I think if you want to learn more about it, it's a good book to read. So